holy crocodile, is Sally turning out to be exactly who we think she is? We are talking Season 3, Episode 1, the Bloodline Premiere, right here on AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I think that we should just like take a moment to like absorb.
I can hardly contain myself right now, if I'm being honest. I can hardly contain myself.
It's so good. I actually got kind of emotional when I heard the song come back.
We're back, guys! We're back!
I'm like, which one should I look at right now? I'm like, are we doing a... Anyway. Hello, AfterBuzzers. We are back here for another fun-filled edition of the Bloodline After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. If you're not already subscribing, please do. Right on YouTube. You can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, every social media channel there is. We're on Snapchat now. It's just like holy guacamole. Holy crocodile, actually.
Holy crocodile, actually.
We're everywhere. So follow us. I'm Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean, really on Twitter and Instagram. I'm not really on the Snap. And I'm with my OG co-host of Bloodline. It's Blake V.
It's me!
It's me, Blake V.
Yes! I am Blake V. What's up, everyone? I'm so happy to be here. So happy to be with all you and my Allie D. Okay, I'm going to tone it down for a second, but you can find me on all the social medias at Blake V Media, and you can check out my blog at blakevee.com.
Do it.
And friends, it's Allie D and Blake V here for the Bloodline After Show. This whole season, it's going to be both of us holding down the fort.
We should note, the premiere tonight we're reviewing solo, but next week we'll be doing episodes 2 and 3 together, and then 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7, 8, 9.
We're gonna pair. We're trying a new approach this season. We're gonna pair up some of the after shows because the last couple seasons have been a little torturous.
Wait
for us, because everybody else in the world has binged the entire season,
right,
and we're just like dragging week by week, just like desperate to know what happened in the next one. So we're gonna make it easier on all of us and do 2 at a time going forward.
But the finale will also be standalone, so we'll allot a little bit more time for premiere and the finale. Okay, so Blake, I was completely anxiety ridden for most of this episode. I had to actually like shut off the lights to like, because it was so dark, like the entire episode was so dark that almost like the glare, like I was watching it in the day, so the glare coming in, I was like, this is not working. So it was just literally like darkness in my heart. Oh my gosh,
in your environment,
everything was just, I don't know, I was frantic. What about you?
Yeah, oh, same, total same. And I think that we have really come to expect and appreciate this whole kind of dark cloud that is the Rayburn family and that is the Bloodline episode, if you will.
Right.
I was so excited in this first premiere because we were really left on these various levels of cliffhanger.
Yes, we were.
And the intro of this was so good. Like, we were just talking about it, how they sort of overlaid like kind of a montage where it was these various stories taking place at the same time. You didn't know quite where one was leaving off and one was starting. I thought the crocodile was going to eat the dog, and I was like, no, Bloodline!
Me too.
I was horrified.
Yeah.
And then it was just Kevin. It was just Kevin in the woods.
Oy.
You know. And anyway, so I thought that was really clever. That was such just a clever opening. We saw Sally getting cray. We saw John getting cray. We saw Kevin getting cray. Like, everyone
everyone was getting cray except for Chelsea.
Yeah.
Right? Chelsea?
Yeah.
You're right. She's the only one. She's the only one sort of like holding it together for us in this very adult way.
Which is so, right? Well, and even her, like, every single character we got introduced to in the first few moments had so much going on. And then even Chelsea, yeah, she's holding it down at the bar.
But I know,
you know,
yeah, right.
But she's got like crazy stuff going on in her personal life too.
Yes.
So it's kind of a little crazy.
Everyone had their stuff.
They did. Indeed, their stuff.
It was
Friends,
actually, I thought it was
stuff.
interesting how they started everything off, just because it was clear to me that, or at least if they didn't film it this way, I'd be surprised. But I feel like all of this was filmed all together. So, you know what I mean? Like how Kevin was standing over Marco right in the beginning. It's like,
yeah. You mean like it was a continuation of the scene when
they just
filmed
cut
it?
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right. I think so too.
All of that stuff. I mean, we were like long past.
Which is so curious because it's like, I wonder, do they know where they're going to make the cuts and where the precise moment they're going to end the previous season and everything? You know what I mean? While they're filming the entire thing? Do they know that they're going to say, okay, hold Kevin looking over Marco for the season 3 episode 1 premiere?
I think they probably have variations of moments that they want to capture to kind of give themselves room when they're editing. Because
That's wise, Alison. That's wise.
Because when we were at the LACMA and we saw Glenn Kessler talking about all this stuff, it's almost like they were insinuating that they give themselves space for stuff.
And let's briefly inform anyone who may not know, here in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art does screenings, and Alison and I last season attended a screening at LACMA for season 2 of Bloodline, and it was very cool, amazing. And a lot of cast came and spoke and everything, so that's what we're referencing.
It was pretty cool. If you're in LA, definitely go to the LACMA.
Yes.
Definitely take a photo with the light, what do they call it? The light posts?
The light post display?
Yeah. Take some good photos of that. Okay, so let's kick it off. Kevin, yes. Kevin, Meg, John, Kevin.
Okay, so Kevin, we knew from last season that he had bludgeoned Marco. I feel like we sort of got our confirmation today that Marco is no more. He is no more.
I mean, if he were to come back in some moment, I would be very shocked. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is no more. Kevin sort of lost his mind and fled the scene and had to change and gather his thoughts, which I get. But then he came back to Marco's house, which as he was entering the sliding door, I was like, what is wrong with you? Because I just felt like it was like more of a risk to go back and just, I don't know.
I will say this. He had gloves on, which I thought, thank you for having some level of
foresight
thinking now, since you haven't had much of it as of this, up to this point.
Right.
And the fact that he was going for the murder weapon, I was like, okay, good thinking. However, where it went astray for me was he had this bag of not only all the soiled clothes, now the murder weapon. I mean, he literally had all this stuff. Why didn't he burn it? Mm-hmm. He went and put it in the bottom of the ocean or something, or the bay or wherever, what? That didn't make any sense to me. I thought, this is not sensible. This is, you want to completely, haven't you seen enough episodes of any other TV show at this point? I'm like Dexter. That's a prime example. Don't leave anything to be discovered.
Right. So I was thinking in my own mind, if I killed somebody.
Yes. Let's hear this, Blake.
Of course, what I take. No, and then I thought, so if you do kill somebody and you need to burn the evidence.
Well, just really your clothing.
Right. Well, right.
And the murder weapon.
I don't know how meltable that
anything's
marble dolphin would have been, but regardless.
Yes.
If you need to burn something, I feel like when you start the fire, depending on how well you can contain it.
Yes.
Like a fire is visible to other people.
I know.
So you have to be very careful.
Right.
I mean, even if you do it in your home fireplace,
then you
don't you have
you gotta get rid of all the ashes.
Chimney
stuff.
That
I think.
And then people go around to your neighbors and say, "Hey, was anything suspicious?" Yeah, Alison had her fireplace on in the middle of July, or you know what I mean. And then it's like, "Oh, that's strange, Alison. Let's come question you." Anyway, that's what I thought about the fire. But I did think fire is obviously the best way to get rid of it. But maybe he. Didn't, whatever.
I guess there's enough also obscure little beaches in where they are that, I don't know, you could find a lone place to just start a bonfire. There's weirder things that have happened on that show.
Truth.
But, and then the fact that he was calling, so there was a lot of phone calling happening, lots of frantic phone calls and messages. I have learned that if you really want to get in touch with someone and they're not answering, don't you start sending 400 text messages? I need you. I really need you now.
911.
Yeah, right.
911.
Right? If I were to do that to you, okay, let's do a hypothetical right now. Okay, if I started calling you, let's say you were really upset with me, or you did not, you were like, no, enough of me, right? And I was calling you, no. But if I was then saying SOS, come save me, please, Lord, call me back, I need you. If I was texting all these things to you, you were seeing it. How could you say no to me?
Here's my argument for that.
Okay.
I think that it totally depends on the receiver's state of mind. Because if you're in a regular state of mind and you're relaxing, having a glass of wine, whatever's fine, and you're like, oh, Alison. Yeah, hello. What's going on with you? Is this an emergency? Let's see what it is. But these people are like especially John has lost his mind at this point. He is like straight up having flashbacks. He cannot even keep it together, it seems. And so I get that from him. It's like, I just can't. Everyone could be dying right now. I just can't.
But the way he contradicted that for me was the fact that he called his daughter.
Yes.
Okay, so that was one. And he answered the phone when his mother
Sally.
called. So because he did those two things, I'm thinking that if he had been receiving text messages from his siblings,
Yeah.
that may have compelled him a little bit more, because he might have started to have like an internal dialogue in his brain of like, oh wait, what's
Right.
maybe things would have been going on where he would have called or responded or shown up.
We clear if this cell phone that he or they as a group have,
Yeah.
are these like their legit actual cell phones or,
Pretty sure.
or like burner cell phones?
No, I think that's...
Because if it's their actual cell phones, I wonder if maybe John is thinking ahead and thinking like, okay, if I don't answer these calls, it doesn't come up on my end of phone records.
No, it does.
That for even just receiving the calls you don't pick up. Well, even if they come through on the call records, he hasn't picked them up. So
Right.
maybe that could be his alibi of, I don't know what they were for, I didn't take the call.
That's
I don't
true.
know what the response was.
true.
So,
Blake's thinking. Blake is thinking.
I was thinking, Kevin, guys.
So basically, Kevin is completely a mess. Like, they're really... I mean, we
Completely.
kind of thought this last season, but it's now...
Confirmed.
I just don't... I don't even know what to do with him.
He seems like a child to me.
Yes.
And I feel like there were even moments in this episode where even just like the look on his face or just the way they had the camera on him, he was just like just so
But excellent. He is
helpless.
so excellent in this.
He's
But he
wonderful.
is out of his mind. He's
out of his mind.
Confirmed out of his mind. So, okay. Meg, we also open on Meg telling her mom that in fact John killed Danny. So this is a big moment, and I think Meg was expecting a certain kind of response from her mother.
Yeah.
And did not get it in any way of what she thought she was going to get. She did. I mean, almost the fact that she had to repeat herself and ask her mother to repeat what she had just said, because she literally thought her mom had lost it at that point.
Yeah.
And all I was thinking was, oh, Sally's becoming the Sally I think she is. This is the Sally that I've been suspecting. It's season 3. It's taken us 3 seasons.
beginning.
Here she coming out, man.
Yes. Well,
We got another glimmer of that too, but we'll get to that.
yes,
Okay.
and I feel like in my notes I wrote down like word for word
Yes.
everything that Sally said.
Tell me. I have it too,
was like,
but yeah.
Oh my god. So like Meg unloads the news.
Yeah.
Sally says, "It doesn't matter now. What's done is done."
That's what I have. What's done is done.
is done.
Nonchalant. Yeah, I know.
Like so nonchalant. Oh well. Who has that kind of response? I mean, that was like craziness.
And then beyond that, we have to protect your father, which I thought was, I'm like,
Okay, that was like like the glass shattering, right? Because it's like,
where are we?
where are we? Where is Sally's mind? Like, she is so stuck in the past and what the father did to Danny that she can't even see that what has happened to Danny. I mean, it's shocking. We have to protect your father. It's like her flashbacks are hitting her hard now.
And the reaction that Meg had to that was also complete bewilderment. I mean, she really was... She didn't know what to do with that. I
She
mean,
thought Sally lost her mind.
it was a phenomenal scene. I mean, it really was. It was just, the whole show is just so... Really, I'm gonna miss this show. I'm gonna miss you. It's only episode 1, and I'm
thing.
already like saying my goodbyes. I'm just like, let me start mourning this entire thing.
It's bittersweet.
And then what Sally does is basically demands that Meg goes to look for everyone. Like, the most challenging thing to do. Could be anywhere. Look not only for John, but find Kevin. Find John and Kevin. Could be anywhere in the Keys. Could be anywhere in the world at this point. We have no idea. But go find them. And Meg, I mean, she accepts it for some moments, and then she pretty much tells her mom to F off.
Right.
Essentially.
Which I thought was interesting for this reason. I feel like the mother, regardless of Sally's response, I feel like the motherly response would be, gather everyone, like bring everyone, find everyone. Like, I get that as like a motherly response. So the fact that, I mean, Meg is dealing with a lot, but the fact that she, number one, did accept, like, sure, let me find them, and then realized that that was an impossible task, had to go get schmammered at the bar, and then she was like, Mom, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking it anymore. It's like, well, but you did just drop this massive bomb on your mother, like, moments ago. So to instantly be like, hey, I'm not doing it anymore, it just seemed like almost like a too soon response.
Okay.
Simply because she's been dealing with this information for however long it's been now.
That's true. That's
true.
Yes.
And then she just dropped it on her mom. And yeah, she was drunk, and so like emotions were probably taking over. But that's where I felt like, from the mother's point of view, like, Meg, what's going on? Where is everybody? Blah, blah, blah. And then to get that response of like, I'm sick of it. I'm not doing it anymore. Almost like a defiant response where it's like, well, then why'd you tell your mother right now?
So I think what I would have hoped for was that in those, like, before Sally said to Meg, go find everybody, I would hope that Sally would have said, let's try calling them right now. Yeah. I'd like do something together. Like, try and do some semblance of, I'm on your side in some way right now, and I have somewhat of a plan devised in my brain or something in me telling you, commanding you to find these other people. I think that's what I was hoping for. But instead she was, she goes to help the hotel guest, which granted, she is, the purveyor of this establishment, so it's kind of her job to do this. But I don't know, it's almost like Meg needed a mom to like have like more of a mom reaction.
But is that Sally right there?
No, it's not. It's not. But it's sort of like it would have been Sally from season 1.
Well, but I mean, I think she as a mother is that like she's not able to give fully as a mother. Nothing.
No, you're right.
And we're having those flashbacks of her like with the kids when they were young, and I mean, we see how she dealt with Danny's situation, and like, I don't know, like she was not there emotionally
definitely
for
not
her children then, and clearly it's like she's not quite getting a grasp of the situation now. It seems
no, she's definitely not. But I think it was just they've been teasing us, right? So like this is really the first time we're really seeing, I think, the true colors of Sally, right? But they've been teasing us in previous seasons where we got just, I think, glimmers of just more of this maternal side, like little things that she would do, like come have lunch, maybe dinner, like things that make us all feel like, oh, she's not hiding anything. Well, I mean, I kind of knew, but you know what I mean? Like it was enough to tease, I think, any viewer with, she's got that side to her. Like, no, she does not have this side to her. No, it's all a front. It's all one big front. Okay, so basically, Meg kind of left off of TBD, but she's drunk as heck, swerving. I mean, I thought that we were gonna have another crocodile incident or something. I didn't know what was gonna happen. Yeah. John, in fact, was not drunk, but he opened up, and we opened up the episode with him, and he hit a crocodile, and that pained me tremendously. I was just like, really, another thing to die, really? And then I think he didn't tranquilize it. I think he killed it.
Oh, for sure killed it.
Yeah,
for sure killed it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure nothing was harmed in the making of this episode. Disclaimer at the bottom, but but still, it still pains me to see any animal die.
Yeah, same.
Any animal die,
and any Danny.
So. John, whatever. I mean, Diana's calling him. He's not answering. He's fleeing town. I mean, that's obviously his goal, is he wants to get out of Dodge. He does not know anything that's going down that's really even worse than everything that's already that's come before it in some ways, right? So he hitches a ride with a rando woman that graciously picks him up off the street, which I was like, how's this gonna go?
Right. And I loved how intentionally she looks him up and down, his outfit, his everything, and she goes, are you dangerous?
I loved it.
Right? And then he's like, no. But it's like, yes, he is.
But he was like thinking to himself, yes, as he was saying no.
It was like, no,
right.
I'm not dangerous at all. Oh, John.
You know, it's interesting because it's strange. I don't really think he really is. It's almost like he was just challenged to like the nth of his being or something with everything that happened with Danny. And it was sort of like what happened with Kevin and Marco, right? It was like this blackout moment that occurs where it's like they're leaving their whatever they are behind. Because I don't necessarily think that John's true self is this killer. Right. And I don't necessarily think that Kevin's true self is this killer. I just think that they kind of go stupid sometimes.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I think,
in a killer way.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. It seems like inherently they're not evil people, but at the same time, they've killed So it's hard to justify that. But I did think it was interesting in terms of John's storyline. He gets in the car with this woman, this stranger. Number one, I like that he hit the J because I would never have expected that from John.
Okay.
He's like so straight laced that I just think he would have been like, nah.
Well, I like that he said they didn't done that
Regardless.
since like high school
Yeah.
or something. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You need it, John.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
It's not gonna. You're gonna need more than one, I think, to let it
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So that was definitely, you know, an interesting moment of him like letting his guard down and kind of like being this different person around a stranger.
Yes.
Like he was definitely had a lot going on in his head, but still I liked that whole interaction. But the thing I thought was interesting too is once he arrives at the
Bus station.
bus station,
Yeah.
he then, you know, has these thoughts, whatever, and then he calls his
Daughter.
relays the message. She's like, what? It's early. What's happening? And that's that. But I thought it was interesting. He calls the children, but he intentionally avoids Diana's call. He's not at a point where he can tell Diana anything, which I'm sure he knows that if he gets on the phone, she's going to have question, whatever. So he can't. But at the same time, it's almost like I get the feeling as if he doesn't care. He doesn't love her anymore. He's over it. He doesn't even care that he's hurting her because it's like he's intentionally not helping the situation, you know? And then that almost makes me feel like, well, why? Like, what did she do? Why?
I don't think it's that he doesn't love her anymore. I think he feels so disgusted by himself almost and embarrassed and like almost as though he doesn't deserve her anymore because of what he did or how he's affected the family now, right? So, and especially because the concept of family is, you know, so significant in the Rayburn world that like the fact that he did this to family, she's found out, it's like he can't even look at her in a way because he's ashamed. He's like the nth degree ashamed. So I think that's what it is. But he calls his daughter because it's one of those things where, you know, you love your kids and they don't know the hoopla that's happening. So it's almost like she doesn't know. She's oblivious. She's oblivious. It's a safe zone. So I was like, okay. I thought the flashbacks were very interesting for us with him and with Sally because while we've gotten some audio tape stuff in prior season and we've gotten some flashback stuff, today was interesting in the things that were said. Specifically, he says, we lied. And she says, you helped the family. We lied, you helped the family. We lied, you helped the family.
Multiple times.
Yeah. And I think that they did it, like, I don't know if it was actually said
In person
times
that many
way.
times. It was just on repeat.
Yeah, I think so.
Either way, effective.
Very effective.
Right?
And then that led me to think, this is sort of like the moments in which Sally is training her children to lie. And let's see where literally, what's going down now. It's lies everywhere. She's trained her children to be the ultimate. And now, obviously, Meg is trying to be better. And, Kevin had a moment tonight where he was confessing to Roy Gilbert, which I was like, hell, excusez-moi. What's happening?
Whole thing. Well, see, because Kevin, for real, cannot be trusted on his own. You know what I mean? He is 100% incapable of, handling anything on his own. He just can't. So, in a way, he was calling John a million times, and it's sucky, but it's almost like, it does keep falling on John because
it does.
It's like Kevin can't do for himself, and we
cannot.
know this. So you can't
Meg,
leave him.
It's like she can be helpful, but at the same time, she also still leans on John as the crutch, and I think it's partly because he's in law enforcement, and so he kind of understands how to, in theory, take care of certain situations.
Well, and really sort of like a trickle-down effect because like you were saying, the flashbacks talk about, okay, first of all, we have to protect your father, which obviously that's where Sally's mind was since they were kids. Then you see in the flashback, John sort of being like the sounding board, right? We've got Danny is in the hospital, and then here Sally is telling John, you're helping the family, you're helping the family. He knows he lied, but you're helping the family. Then now, cut to them as adults, she's still treating John that same way, almost as like the backup for the dad.
Yep.
Yep. And so it's like she's straight up calling out to him now, oh, you have to get home, you have to help the family. That's the most important. You have to do this, you have to do that. And it's just like, why was John primed to be like the father's backup? It's like
I think we're gonna find out. I think we're gonna see this because it just anyway. But we also get a scene with Sally and Roy, and I was trying to figure out where this was within the timeline of everything. So what I think happens was, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or what if you think this is anything that makes sense. Okay, so Kevin goes to see Sally, tells her everything. Sally locks him out of the house.
Which we need to speak about for just a moment.
Sure. I know. I was like, what is about to go? Thank you. Sally turning into the Sally I think she is.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, just go on out there. I'm just gonna go get some ice. Click. Oh my God. I thought
And
that
also
scene,
handing an alcoholic beverage. I mean, literally.
one drink's not gonna hurt. I'm telling you, that whole moment from when Kevin entered the house
So evil.
to getting locked out on the thing, I was just like, what?
It was like pure evil happening, just right there. So then I think she calls Roy at that moment. So Kevin leaves. He gets in his car. He goes elsewhere. I don't know what happens to him because they don't really show us. But Roy comes over. Sally discloses things to Roy or something. We don't really know. But all we know is the outcome is, I'll help the family however I can, get things squared up here. And
Squared up.
Or no, he goes, I'll help. I'll do whatever I can to help. Are we all squared up here?
That's what it is.
And then she goes, not even close. And I'm thinking,
What? Because that's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
What? Yes. And we have that moment from, I think it was season 2, where it's all kind of coming to a head. They're talking about getting Gilbert involved in the campaign because wasn't he originally okay?
He was gonna like be a part of the doc, the campaign. I mean, there was like he was trickling into stuff.
And Sally was very apprehensive, and she was like, nope, like he's only in it for himself. Don't get involved. Very minimal information, but still, don't get involved. And then now it's sort of like full circle. We're seeing the depth of their relationship here. Intro Gilbert, and it's like square for what?
I'm just on pins and needles. I'm truly on pins and needles. Okay, and then let's just like briefly before we get into predictions, Ozzy,
yes. Okay, so he got abducted.
Yeah. Okay. So do we?
And I have many questions.
Well, I probably have the same questions because I was like, who are these people? He thought that they had something to do with John. I don't know if they had anything to do with John.
I don't think so either. And he kept saying it like, you know, he said multiple times John Rayburn's name, you know, and like, you guys are the messengers or whatever, but it seems like more than that or bigger than that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But that was just very, and to be honest, I don't quite, my memory of Ozzy, I mean, I know he was definitely uncovering the truths of everything with Danny, so that we know. But this threw me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did kind of suspect, I will say this. I'm like, they're not killing Leguizamo in the first episode. Just not happening. He's too awesome. I mean, bless you, Marco, but Leguizamo, you know, Marco's been around since first season. We needed to have Leguizamo for at least 2, right?
Just like a little handoff.
Like a handoff. So I didn't think that was going to happen. I appreciated how artful his reverse takeover was.
Yes, his potential takedown, then escape.
That was fantastic. So clearly, we'll see more of Ozzy. I don't like calling him Ozzy.
I know. I just want to call him Leguizamo.
Leggy. Hey, Legs. He was so good at the LACMA thing, by the way. Funny, so funny. Most funny. Has he done stand-up?
Oh, he does one-man shows all the time.
Yeah,
he's
that's
like
what it
very,
is. He's so good.
He's on the ball. He's the guy.
Okay, before we get into predictions, is there anything that I'm missing that we need to dive into? I mean, there was a lot, obviously, of nuggets.
Right. There were a lot of nuggets. One thing I think notable that we kind of just ended on, which is like just worth mentioning for our setup to the next episode, is that Eric walked in.
The only reason why I didn't say this is because that's going to roll into my predictions.
Then I'll save it.
We can totally talk about it.
No.
And then I'll just say what my prediction is.
Yeah.
Go.
Literally, that was all I was going to say. Eric walked in on the body.
Yeah, Eric walked in on the body. And now we can get the prediction music because I'll tell everyone what.
Okay, let's do it.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV.
I feel it's such a loss for the predictions.
Okay. So here's what I noticed about Eric walking in. Ooh,
it's still going.
It's lingering. I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it. Okay. We're so giddy to be back together again. It's not even funny. I love it. All right. It's real, folks. It's just real in here. Okay. So Eric walks in, sees the body, And I think he went there because I think at that point he had been threatened by John, and and Marco was supposed to meet him that evening, I think, right? I think it was. I think there was a timeline where it was going to happen the next day, or something significant was going to happen where Eric was going to be taken to the police station, or something was going to happen.
John had held him at gunpoint,
right?
Like that day, right?
Yes.
And so he goes to Marco after. I think is this thing.
Because he needed some level of protection at this point, like some real protection, because things were getting real for him. So he walks in, sees the body, does not call 911, was not wearing gloves. His fingerprints are now on the door.
Oh, Eric.
His fingerprints are on the door. Now, that's not to say that Kevin's fingerprints are not from the original time he opened the door.
Precisely.
It's possible, but then again, in the forensics of police, you'd hope that they cover every doorknob. But I don't know. There was a lot of doors on that house. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Do the freshest fingerprints override previous fingerprints?
I wish I was a NCI or FBI or CIA or...
We need to know this.
Something.
Yeah.
But anyway, that led me to think, is he going to go down for Marco's death? Shit. That's what I was thinking.
Interesting.
Right? Because it's possible...
It's like the perfect framing.
It kind of is.
It really is.
And so now we've got Kevin going to Roy Gilbert saying, you have to decide if I'm going to be doing whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. So he might do this.
Yes. And I think maybe that'll be my prediction. Because I do think that. I think that Kevin cannot be... Now, in pure Bloodline twist fashion, he may get the balls at the last minute and say, no, let me consult with whatever, my family. But... I don't think so. I feel like he had that conversation originally with Gilbert in the car, right?
Well, he had the initial, he said to Gilbert, please help me, and Gilbert said, get out of the car.
See?
And then after Sally talked to him, then suddenly he was
like... The tables turned.
Right.
But see, Kevin was already in that frame of mind of, here, let me tell Gilbert everything.
Yep.
Gilbert, help me. So it's like, obviously, he's already looking for that help. So here, tables turned, even though Gilbert's obviously coming at it from a shady way, he now somehow, oh, Kevin, let me help you. Let me help you make it better. And his little sad puppy dog eyes and adolescent brain and all of these things, he's just like, yes, help me. I think he might.
I think
he might.
I think bad things are coming to Kevin and to Eric O'Bannon. And that really saddens me because Eric is just not getting anything good happening.
No.
He literally is just getting dumped on right and left. Truly. Now that he's been in studio and we've met him, I'm all the more a fan. Even though obviously he is not his character, but I just in general, I'm save Eric O'Bannon.
Right.
Signs,
Jamie
protest.
McShane.
Anyway, and then really, I don't know, John, who the heck knows where he's going? This could be some, I don't know. It's gonna redirect somehow, obviously, but I don't know. Meg is careening off the side of a mountain at this point, off the side of a bridge. I don't know, something. She's careening off the side of something, and Sally is turning into Sally.
Yeah. Oh. Woo!
So we'll see.
Ready for the next
installment. I think all right, y'all. So, Premiere, what did you think? Tweet us, talk to us, tell us everything. I mean, don't tell us any spoilers, because I'm sure most of you have actually.
Yes, you have to follow along with us because we can't take it.
Just don't try and not spoil things for us. Because,
I mean, you do you.
Yeah, do you.
Binge, please binge.
Yeah.
But for our sake.
Right, because we're not.
Stick with us.
But we will be talking episodes 2 and 3 next week. So I guess that's parts 25 and 26. Yes, parts 25 and 26 next week. I've been your host, Alison Dean. You can find me everywhere except for Snapchat at the Alison Dean. I mean, technically I'm on it. I don't know. I need someone to do it for me.
Alison struggles with Snapchat.
It's just one more thing. I just can't. You can follow my Insta if you want some gardening tips. And Blake, where can they find you?
Fantastic gardener over here.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
Budding, aspiring gardener. I'm loving it. Loving it. I, of course, am Blake V. You can find me on all the social medias at Blake V Media. And on my blog at blakev.com.
Check it out. It's an awesome blog. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you next week. Monday. Not Tuesday. We'll be here Monday. Okay. Bye, everyone.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.